There's not many places in the world where you can fall apart. Some people go to insane asylums to fall apart, or other places where they feel like all of the pressures of the world are taken off them, so for a moment they can pry into themselves and find out what's underneath everything that they've built. Is there something at the core of the human spirit that is indestructible? Is there something more powerful in us than everything that we have so far relied upon? And that's kind of an act of faith, trust, that there is something that has appeared before and will appear again and will keep appearing. So if you're starting to feel things wobble a little bit in your persona or your expression of yourself in the world, it's like, don't try to shore it up. Don't try to patch it up. Just let it fall apart. I made you a promise the other week that actually if you do leave your personality at the door, it will still be there if you want it. Like, you can put it back together again. It's like it won't be irretrievably broken if you make this experiment of letting it fall. But you probably won't want it. Except, like sometimes I get my bell bottoms out of the closet, or my 60s clothes, go to Hyde-Ashbury and, get something for Burning Man. Sometimes you'll want to wear it for old time's sake, but it won't be the fashion anymore. Your way of being in the world won't be the fashion because you'll have found something that's richer and more useful. So not only fall apart, help each other fall apart. And there's a difference between putting a sword into somebody because you're pissed with them and they're irritating you, and putting a sword into somebody out of love. It's like when the old knights used to spar with each other. The whole point was, if your sword can get in through their mail, better the sword of a friend than the sword of an enemy. Better the sword of somebody who actually can see there's a gap, and to probe into that with love rather than, have it happen anyway. So sometimes it's hard to look at each other when we're falling apart. Sometimes it's easier to look away. Like, if I look away, then I don't have to see your vulnerability, which won't trigger my vulnerability, which will mean that we'll all be able to hold it together. Please hold it together. I know in my dad's generation, that was the big thing. Like, if someone started to grieve or whatever, he would come over and literally hold you by the elbows and look in your eyes and try to give you the strength to not go and don't do that. Like, if you do that, everything's lost, Generations of the Scots holding the fucking clan together will crumble in a heap. Like, don't be the one to let it fall. And kind of out there, a lot of that is the case still. People are undergoing what would be a healthy spiritual transformation, and they're encouraged by their family and their friends and their psychologists and their workmates and everybody to hold it together. Fuck, don't fall apart. If you fall apart, we all fall apart, and if we all fall apart, what will become of us? So yeah, fall apart.